All right.
I was asking earlier if you were up for sharing some flavors of things that you've learned over the years that, based off of your experience with me from today and these moments, like what might come through in service of just the being and the joy of both sharing your work as well as having me get a lived experience of it such that I can continue to apply it and be a poster child of who you are and want to.
Yeah, I think the most effective leadership is leadership where one is leading the self first. And when one is focused on leading the self, the needs, their desires, and they're prioritizing their energy first, it creates a space where people can actually trust not just what they say, but the energy that they're carrying and the way that they say it. And I think that is one of the most under-tended to areas of leadership in business and corporate spaces is we're losing touch with prioritizing ourselves. And we're forgetting, humans are forgetting to tend to themselves. And we can't output if we're not receiving input from yourself, with the world, not input from your email and from your to-do list for the day. Very different. And creating spaces within businesses and within whatever life that you're living to prioritize that is not only going to support your peace, your joy, but your aliveness and your wealth and your connections, your relationships. When you feel supported, like so fully supported, when you can sit there and literally look inward and be like, I feel so good in my life. I'm so in love with who I am. I'm so in love with the things I've found passion for in life. Like when you really truly feel like you have immense amounts of life force energy moving through you and that you're in that state of bliss within yourself, the entire, whatever you're focused on, whether it's business, relationships, whatever it is in your life, it's all going to flow, move, expand. And that's an area I see businesses really lacking. There's no, sure, maybe they'll get a meditation app or invest in a gym membership for their clients. But I don't actually see a whole lot of fostering that self-leadership.
I'm wondering how that could look for myself over these next minutes and over my next hours or my next day, and what that texture might be like.
Yeah, just knowing what you're moving through in your own world right now. I think having moments out of your day where you can really just like check in with your head, with your thoughts, where you can slow down enough with your breath to really just notice without trying to change. Noticing your heart. And then you can go even deeper with that of noticing how the front of your heart feels. Noticing how the back of your heart feels. How does the left side feel? How does the right side feel? Noticing 4 chambers of the heart. How does the deepest part of the heart space that you can connect to, how does that feel? about like the widest, the furthest out you can touch from your heart space while still feeling that heart. What's that space feel like? And I love to just use the breath to just allow you a little bit more to soften. Yeah, this is what is. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. You can notice the sex organs. Just noticing how like each area of the body feels. And then you can shift a little bit more outwardly, like the full body. How are you holding the body? Where are you carrying tension? Yeah, like all of these aspects really help you communicate more with what is actually present for you. Because when you can feel what's present for you, you can start to create space to feel it. You then can start to make changes. So if something you're noticing doesn't feel, maybe you don't necessarily know how it feels. But maybe you're like, ooh, there's something here. And using that breath to just like soften and allow it to be present. More and more. And when you do, you can start to reach for things in your world that give you the opportunity to continue being with it. And so with what you're moving through in your world right now, like, can you give yourself time and space throughout the day? Maybe right when you wake up, you can check in. How are we doing here? How's my body doing right now? Front of the body, back of the body. Can you connect with the teeny little hairs on your head and the spaces in between your toes? And I think there's so much that happens throughout the day. And especially in the moments where we're noticing reaching outwardly or wanting to self-soothe or trying to fill the time and space with things. Those to me are the most important moments to actually check in of like, what is my body? What's the experience of my body right now? So I think those are some things that you can take with you to really continue learning, well, what's happening. I used to be in the pain management world. And I used to work with people that really struggled with like chronic pain and chronic disease symptoms. And in that, people's bodies were always speaking to them. Your pain is a message from your body to your body, asking for more love and attention. Even the pain of grief and sadness. What are you noticing in your body?
Sinking sensation in my chest and gravity in my spine. My hands feel deft and deliberate. There's a frequency and makeup that you are tapped into as you speak. As you like channel that, it's very moving.
What do you feel is moving?
Upwelling in my heart. I'm more present to my love for life, for how much connection meant to me, means to me. I guess meant is all past tense. Everything's outside of the room is past, and there's all water under the bridge, the pod, the friends, and how, yeah, it was like a completion and like opening or something when you speak in that place. So it's like
So that energy that you're speaking to, what changes when you walk through life with that more often?
there's like a freshness and like a here-ness and like this and now this and now this moment. It's
How
a
do-
brightness.
Brightness. How does that impact your friendships and relationships?
Well, I imagine I'll be more present with you, being like, actually more here, and I think I spent a lot of today like future casting, maybe like 20-30% past processing, and I'm like, I could just be with us in the present moment, right here, right now, and I make up that's like always way more alive. I think maybe the rest is just me being fearful or like being scared of the intimacy of the present. So yeah, it will fill my day with other obligations or times or things, and I'm like, I can not do that and then have there's a certain texture of deep listening in my body, being and presence moment by moment.
What's possible in business for you if you carried that energy through more often?
A little wave of tenderness. What's possible in business? I imagine the foundation of everything I touch is more rooted in our collective way of being as I communicate from that place. You also touched it earlier on a sense of trustability, because it's moving from this foundation of self. Presence, overgiving, or self-sacrificing, or extending. Those are all overcorrections against the past. So in this present moment, there's a flavor of moving from the pure fullness, and in business, in any context, like you can taste when someone is sharing from a cup overflowing, and how like virulently, how profusely their cup is overflowing is something that is immediately clear that I will be more in touch with, and a more overflowing level from this place.
To me, that's what I like to refer to as magnetic energy. It's like that life force energy that you've cultivated in yourself that you're now emitting into this space, into the field around you. It makes people want to stay. It makes people want to keep feeling that, because it inspires them to feel more of that and to find more of that within themselves.
Yeah. And as you spoke that, I'm like, wow, that is
Yeah,
huge
goosebumps.
And it's extremely pleasurable.
Yeah. And that is what I think we're robbing ourselves of in society, is we're robbing ourselves from that pleasure, because we're so focused on production and producing, and we forget that we're people first. And so a people and culture-centered approach to leadership and to business, to me, is literally the grassroots of trustable and sustainable expansion that actually makes a business and a magnetic one. So I think
Magnetic business. Magnetic. I'm anchoring it to like magnetic, right? That's a really
well, it's that sense, right? It's the goosebumps. Like, you know, you think of the people that you've been around in your life that give you that sensation, that feeling of goosebumps. And you're like, oh my God, like more of that.
yeah.
You know, like I want more.
That's right.
Me and one of my best friends have that joke. It's like more. I want more of that, you know? And like, it changes so much.
I can't help but like, or I can't not see it now, or I can't unsee it now. The flavor of how you should.
Yeah, and because you feel it, right? And that is the experience that I want to bring into rooms. When I'm on stage and I'm keynote speaking, I want people not to hear me, but to feel themselves. And if I've left a room feeling deeper within themselves, to me, I've done my job.
Of course.
You know? And
I want to advocate for posting this on my Facebook, on YouTube, some other places.
Sure.
Send you as well. What a pristine transmission. And thank you for stepping up and
Yeah.
continuing to get goosebumps and waves of it. Like if I just continue going only at the rate that I get to continue to feel my goosebumps.
And something to speak to as well is like, as you be with your body more, and as you listen and communicate with your body more, things are going to come up that don't feel so good. And one of the things I love is movement, because movement is a conversation with the body. And so, okay, let's say you're working in the heart chambers and you're like, oh, like, this feels sticky. Okay, like what happens if I like explore what it feels like to like move it to the right? Or like, okay, like can you explore the edges of that space with like the way that you move your body? And this is, to me, the foundations of dance. That's why I love dance, and I love bringing dance into spaces, especially in combination with leadership, self-leadership work. And that's my dance containers are inspired by 5 rhythms, but it's also rooted in self-leadership, self-development work. And so as you move your body into these different spaces and you can like allow a song to carry you through the spaces, it moves what is there.
Breath.
The breath, the body, and the earth. And I think these tools are tools that we're not taught. We're not taught how to connect to ourselves. We're not taught how to connect to our body. How in the world are we going to connect with our clients, with our business, with our vision, with the world around us if we can't even connect with ourselves?
Yeah, I think the pain of that and the numbness, I imagine, is very common too, and fractally here too, in myself.
That leads people to the burnout and the overwhelm and the constant stress levels in our world, the constant pushing. And that ignores the body. And so I just like invite you into like continuing to converse with the body. Sometimes that can be a body scan. Sometimes that can be noticing where the internal environment, where your skin meets the external environment. Like, what does that space feel like? Because if you want to be a powerful leader in the world, to me, you've got to really know how to be with yourself. Because if you can be with yourself, you can hold yourself, And if you can hold yourself, you have therefore the capacity to hold the things outside of you. But if you can't trust yourself to show up for your body and your nervous system when you need it, and when it's sending those messages to you, to say, hey, like, there's some grief here. Hold me today in this grief. Because your capacity to hold yourself is going to equate to your capacity to hold everything else, your employees, your business, your clients, your money, all of it. That's how we reclaim our power.
So maybe I don't see like that.
That sounds so cliche, but I think it's something that's really important to me. It's changed my life. And it goes alongside what we've been talking about. You as a human being, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. And I used to have a friend in my life. She was one of my best friends, and she's no longer with us on this earthly plane. She passed away. She fought brain cancer for 10 years. And she had every reason in her life to be miserable, to hate her life. Every reason. That's wild. Yeah, Earth's talking to us right now. And moments like this, when I start talking about my friends that have passed away, and the Earth starts revving up, where I'm like, oh, okay, you hear me. And yeah, she is an angel in my life. Her name is Amanda. And she had every reason to hate her life. Every single damn one. And this girl showed up every single day with the intention of adding as much joy into the lives of people around her as she possibly could. And she used to always say to me, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And that's where the whole be a permission slip comes in. I believe that every single person is a permission slip for the world around them. And if there's something that you want to change, if there's something you want to feel or that you want to see, you get to go first. And that's where I see with the development of AI and the development of technology that continues to take us more and more and more away from ourselves, away from our needs, away from our desires, away from our power. You have a choice. So you can continue that pattern and continue emitting that pattern out in the world, which is what is being fed to you by the system that we live in. This is the way to do it. This is how you need to be using technology. This is the way of the future. But there's no piece of technology in this world that will ever be more intelligent than your nervous system, than your physical body.
Oh, wow.
Never. They've had it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's kept humans alive.
Yeah. I have a model that it's going to be humans combined with technology in this way that's going to be, and yes, I would say 90+% of contexts people overfit on it, and then they lose their own capacity to walk.
And I think technology is a beautiful opportunity to see new things and explore new things, but it does disconnect us from our body's intelligence. The natural intelligence of our body.
Maybe I don't want that to be true. I feel defensive. That's what I'm saying. Let me tell you, going to Silicon Valley, and I'm like, huh.
Okay, great. Can I offer an invitation with that?
Yes.
Okay, so take a day. I invite you to take one day where you do not pick up a single device. Not a single one. Phone on airplane mode from the moment you wake up. Not your camera, nothing. All you have is your body. And see what comes up. See what your body tells you. Check in with your body like you did. Notice what's there. And compare that to the days that you actually pick up the technology and you don't notice what's there. Technology takes us away from ourselves. And that's why I'm a really firm believer that companies need to bring this work into the workplace, because if you want people to be more productive, they have to be focused on what do they need for themselves, how are they feeling themselves, and the only way to understand what you need is to actually be able to listen to the body. Without all the distractions of I mean, look at our attention spans.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think 90% of these cases currently seem pretty unhealthful. And I feel defensive for, there's like this product that will vibrate when I'm triggered, and it reliably vibrates when I'm triggered because of my heart rate variability that I won't be able to detect internally otherwise. It's training wheels for me to correlate whatever is in front of me with like, oh, that's what's triggering me.
So we think of like heart rate variability. There's signs that you're stressed.
Yeah.
Why are we relying on something outside of us to tell us that we're stressed? And
It's not relying, like training wheels. It's like our crutches. If I break my leg, I'm gonna use crutches for some time. If I'm learning a bike, I'm gonna get training wheels.
okay, fair. And I think, and I'm not saying that these are bad tools, but my approach is actually learning to turn inward, pulling your power back into yourself so that you can build that muscle of noticing. We talked about that a couple times today, right? Because I have found that when you rely on something outside of yourself to tell you, you're kind of bypassing the work a little bit.
Can you help me connect that to training wheels or using crutches? I'm hearing don't use crutches for the rest of your life or training wheels for the rest of your life. I'm like, yeah.
And I think that part of the challenge is that it's becoming normal before we start to really go. There's like two paths, right? You can go down the path of building awareness without the external things, like something that's going to vibrate to tell you you're stressed, or
yeah. Well, I may not have feedback loops otherwise.
Fair. And I do think feedback loops are great. And I think that we are in a world now where that has become the norm of using these external things before we start attempting to try on our own first. And I think a good example is like the Aura Ring. I think the Aura Ring's great because there's certain things about your sleep that like you're sleeping, it's hard to know. And also, like, I know I wake up in the middle of the night. I left my Aura Ring at home. I chose to not want it with me because I was like, I wanted to really trust in my ability to tune into myself.
Okay, well, it sounds like we agree. I mean, yeah, it sounds like we agree on that.
Totally, yeah. And they're different approaches, you know?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years is attuning to our bodies. Our ancestors danced around a fire constantly. You know, they were in touch with the seasons, with each other. You know, when women would have their menstrual cycle, they would rest, not push. Women don't rest when they bleed these days. They don't do that. You know, and we used to be so in touch with our bodies, and then in our lifetimes, the development of technology took over. And now we use that to outsource our knowledge and understanding of ourselves.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole.
I mean, I feel synced with you on at least. I feel. Okay, so I guess I'm wanting to bring some closure to this particular thread. This is a really good chunk.
Yeah.
I feel very, enlivened around your initial inquiry and the flavor that you had me in touch with. I don't even remember the terms for it, but there was whatever you were sharing as you were before it, the result was a bunch of flavored goosebumps.
Magnetism,
Thank you, magnetism. And there's a self-tending that resulted in this magnetism pouring through. And this yesness to life that came through me as a result. And then you asked, what could that mean in the context of business or other areas? And that was really helpful in deepening too. And a lot of the flavor of being that change. Seeing life as a series of incredible opportunities to bring as much joy to it as we can. Inspired by Amanda.
Amanda, yeah. I do think it's really interesting to notice, and I don't say this to prove any point in any direction, but again, just to notice, very different energy that you felt in your body when you actually looked inward to the self-tending versus when you reached outward for this tool that you have to help you tend. It's very different. One, you felt this like the goosebumps and the pleasure that you spoke to. Mm-hmm. And then when we started bringing in the piece of the technology, it came with some of the defensiveness that you spoke to. Mm-hmm. And just very different energies. And so I think that's really curious to me. It's interesting to see the different ways that we respond to different things in our body. And different things that affect our bodies. I feel like in the first half there was a lot of reaching in, and then the second half it was a little bit more reaching out as we started to talk about the technology piece. And so how, in this world that is continuing to evolve, how do we hold both?
Something I have to really look inward for this. What a gorgeous inquiry.
How do we hold both? Because technology is not going anywhere. But where are we using technology to outsource?
Well, it's going everywhere.
It's going everywhere.
Right.
And so how do we use technology without outsourcing the magnetism and the pleasure that you felt?
Yeah. Gorgeous. Okay, that is a gorgeous inquiry to leave people with. Is there any last things you want to share? I think that's a fantastic.
I think that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great pleasure. My great magnetism that I have new access to in the space of this.